Hello, how is everyone doing? It is your fallen angel back with another video. Today, we are covering the topic called The Fragile Brilliance of Human Reason, a reflection on its uniqueness and neglect in a world of instant gratification. So the two videos prior to this, we were explaining triune brain, the predator brain, the reptile brain, the limbic system, and the neocortex, all in full depth. So feel free to check those out. But either way, however you want to start on this channel, every video here is all interconnected. So wherever you start, whether it be pineal meditation, whether it be this video, whether it be semen retention, whatever video you want to start at, they're all interconnected. So you can always branch out to whichever video and eventually see how they're all interwoven. But before we get started, feel free to check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. And without further ado, let's just begin. So, when we're talking about this world of instant gratification, we have to understand how the world leaders, capitalism, and everything around us, belief systems, ideologies, are using our crocodile brain, our human desires and emotions against us, and how it fuels capitalism and how it fuels ideology. So let's just jump right in. Reason is the youngest and most fragile quality of the human mind. All non-human animals get by without any conscious reason. Reason is a non-essential luxury item, and most people have chosen to do without it and to remain locked in a childish world of instant gratification. So, human reason, this is our ability to create discernment, our ability to distinguish between reason and emotion. But we see in society today, this is not the case. We, as the human species, have the largest neocortex amongst any animals. Animals that even come close to us have a small lineage of a neocortex, this computer-like brain. But it seems like even though we have this massive supercomputer in our brain, people only want to stray off to the limbic system, the horse-like brain, or the crocodile brain for survival. And the case may be that the world around us is what's portraying this. It's what's inducing this. It's what is the cause and effect of why instant gratification is so glorified for the limbic system. Because it's like reward-based, right? It doesn't require hard work. People do not want to do the hard work to get anything in this cosmos, it seems like. Capitalism is more than happy to pander to their short-term pleasures. It intentionally infantilizes people and encourages them to be less rational in order to sell them more. The capitalist profit principle is the direct enemy of reason, and any healthy state would seek to control it for the sake of the people. Guys, most of this that we see in capitalism is using your desires, using your fears, and using your emotions against the user, yourself. It's using it against you. And we could see how in society, they are purposely trying to infantilize people. They're trying to make everyone childlike. Even the elderly people are acting at a 14-year-old level. They never pass a certain level of maturity. They want to remain in this childlike behavior. Even adults who are parents, people who are becoming grandparents, still act childlike, right? They're stuck in this limbic system brain because they choose to. They refuse to take reason because the emotion feels better than thought. Thought requires self-reflection. Thought is difficult. It requires self-reflection. It requires you to become something else other than your primal instinct. It requires you to think. And that's something this society does not want to do. They do not want to think for themselves. They'd rather a higher up think for them, while they could feel emotionally swell. So capitalism knows that with this short-term pleasure, they can make the biggest market in this entire cosmos. Capitalism, in essence, is a way to use your desires against you, right? We see that many consumers, whether this be man or woman, are in debt because of their desire for more, their desire for capitalist goods, right? It's being portrayed by celebrities, idol worship, and things of that nature to, if you get this, you will feel this way. If you get this, you will feel this way. If you eat this, you will feel this way. If you buy this brand new car, buy this brand new watch, buy this brand new dress, you will get more respect in this material world. But that's all it'll ever be, is just using your desire against you to build this consumer market. Reason is not highly valued by people, society, or governments. In a new world order, it must be given an enormously more cherished position. We need to escape from self-indulgence and cheap emotions and enter the classy arena of sophisticated emotions, desires, values based on much higher order reasoning processes. Guys, think about the massive market we have today for body transformation, whether this be women trying to adjust their bust, get lip injections, get a bigger butt, men trying to get ab implants, these height surgeries, things of that nature, hair regrowth, all this for a 20-minute act of sex, maybe even less, maybe even a non-fulfilling act, something that they desire so heavily, and once they get it, they'll have a life full of shame afterwards, because they will realize that these things they are chasing are not what they truly desire, right? It is cheap, and it is a way to use your negative emotions. It is a way to use your insecurities to fuel this market, right? So this is why we often see self-indulgence to its highest degree, whether this be drug-based, whether this be food-based, whether this be people just wanting to escape alcoholism, drugs, things of that nature. This is people wanting to escape because this is the society that's embedded upon us. And people are not using reason to distinguish emotion. They are stuck in this limbic-like system. The ego plus emotions are super locked in their processee. Capitalist advertising relentlessly targets the limbic system and even the reptile brain. Advertising never appeals to the neocortex, to rational arguments. So, William Burback has said, good advertising does not circulate information. It penetrates the public mind with desire and belief. Advertising tries to simulate our senses, desires, converting luxuries into necessities, but it only intensifies man's inner misery. The business world is bent on creating hungers, which it wares never satisfy, and thus it adds the frustrations and broken minds of our times. Because, guys, once you purchase something, it never quenches the thirst. It will be, what can I get next? What can I do next? What can I do that? Like, it's a constant cycle. It's a constant cycle. So we know that women account for mainly a lot of our consumer markets, right? They are also in a high amount of debt because they are also one of the more consumer, because they believe that this consumerism will help them achieve whatever they want to feel. But this feeling comes from within. Whatever feeling you want to feel has to come from within, not some external material value. But they learn this much later in the life. Advertising does not treat you as a thinking being, but as a machine entirely determined by feeling and desires that can be readily manipulated to make you want to buy the advertised product. Guys, they use your desires, they use emotion to feed into this market. They want you to feed into this market. Well, if you don't have this type of German vehicle, you are inferior to the man that's driving a Japanese vehicle, a Toyota versus a Benz. If you do not have etc. Luxury brand, then you will be inferior to the man who's wearing a pair of Guess jeans. This is the market they want to create. They want to create this gluttonous market. They want to create this market where we are all separate. We are all separate. New York City explains this to a full degree. Everyone walking amongst each other despise each other. They despise each other internally, and they only view each other as objects. They do not view each other as human beings. They view each other as objects. We use materials now as a way to, we now love materials and use humans as tools. That has to be the other way around. We have to love humans and use materials as the tool. But in society now, it seems that it is quite the opposite of that. And advertising and the capitalists at the top of the pyramid know how to do this efficiently and work against your emotions. Sport is tremendously powerful because it appeals directly to the reptile, pea-sized brain. What is boxing if not pure ritualized violence? Competitive matches between rival football teams produce hate between the opposing fans, and it wouldn't take much to provoke mass violence. So guys, as we see that, we explained this in the Triune video prior, violence is rewarded in this society. Think about all these boxers, Mike Tyson, 30, 40 million in one single night. But the man who saved your grandmother from a brain surgery is not even making a lick of that. A lick of that. They don't make a lick of this money because this type of action is glorified. This type of action glorifies the reptile brain, the feasting, fucking, fight or flight ideology of the reptile brain. Such a pea-sized ideology. People cannot even surpass this, right? They are so stuck on this small part of their brain that they can never realize. This is just bread and circus for the common man. This is just bread and circus. Look at how much money they are making. While there are so many people in this cosmos suffering, hungry, and they are making hundreds of millions of dollars off pure violence. A great deal of entertainment is perched on the edge of an emotional and instinctive volcano. The entertainment world derives its pleasure and power precisely from its ability to summon the shadow forces that energize us and make us feel more alive and vital. So, Hermann Hesse: the man of power is ruined by power, the man of money by money, the submissive man by subservience, the pleasure seeker by pleasure. Young people have many pleasures and many sorrows because they only have themselves to think of. So every wish and every notion assume importance. Every pleasure is tasted to the full, but also every sorrow. And many who find that their wishes cannot be fulfilled immediately put an end to their lives. Now, as dark as they may sound, this is intrinsically true within our cosmos, within the United States entirely, right? We understand how this role of power and pleasure is indoctrinated on us. Now, there's a YouTuber who explained this very well. In one of his videos, he goes by the name of Von to Cut. He explains it that everything in this lifetime is an exchange for power or pleasure. Every single thing is an exchange for power or pleasure, which it intrinsically is. It is all bread and circuses. People in whatever era love watching gladiators killing each other. Even in the Roman Empire, what did they use to submerge the common man, the ordinary man? Give them bread, give them circus, give them the most degenerate pornography so that they could just belittle themselves. They could just become the most submissive slaves that they can be. Sounds familiar, does it not? We still have the same lusts as the ancient Romans, but we cover them with a layer of civilization to pretend we are more moral. In truth, we were simply more hypocritical. When you give people the chance to behave like savages, they invariably do. So what is this? The phrase originates from the Roman poet Juvenal, who stated that Roman government used this method to win votes by popularity. Bread and circuses refers to the strategy of giving citizens what they want to distract citizens from what is going on in the government and economy. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like the United States is the Roman Empire reincarnated. As we know, guys, history repeats itself. These same mistakes come back to fruition. You will see it over and over again. We live in a lowest common denominator world. Everything gets dragged down to the most basic level of primal urges. Religion targets people at the most primal emotional level. Pleasure, heaven, as the reward for obeying the religion, and pain, hell, for disobeying. It is the most evil, cynical, and sinister system of control imaginable. All these indoctrinations, guys, is a way to control your inner spirit. The kingdom of heaven lies within. To believe that if you do not coincide or submit to a certain ideology, you will be to pay for it, is to say that the creator is immature. For what the creator is the creator of who? The creator is the creator that created our emotions, created this childlike behavior, created the reptile, the limbic, the neocortex. Therefore, it is almost cynical to say that this is inevitably the truth. This is nothing more than a means of control. The people at the tippy top of the elite do not believe in any Abrahamic religion. They only believe in Hindu mysticism, Kabbalistics. They believe in that we are the light body. We are just the emanation of light, right? Therefore, meditation, pineal meditation, things of that nature is all about the light body, the etheric body, the astral body. This is nothing about the physical plane. Everything that we see in the Abrahamic religions is to control people in the physical dimension. Belief operates by the way of the placebo effect. I will please, and its evil twin, the nocebo effect. I will harm. People feel better when they believe, and worse when they start to doubt. So what happens? They doubt less and less, believe more and more. and feel better and better. You can't beat that kind of thing, can you? It's the perfect process. People will believe any old shit if you sell it right, and it will actually make them feel better. Okay, guys, what we have to understand is when COVID-19 came out, there was a plethora of propaganda. Even though it only had flu-like symptoms, was what it was said, people were dying at a mass amount because the nocebo was, if you catch this, you will die. That is this negative connotation, and like we have said this on this channel in a plethora of times, the power of mind is immense. If you think something and you strongly believe it, it shall come to fruition. And Murphy's Law is always in play. Many people died because their self-belief made them die. This is not to say that many people didn't get sick or COVID-19 didn't actually harm any. This is to say that the results were exaggerated because of the propaganda that was shown on the televisions. Shopping is much the same. Women feel better when they're buying things, and worse when they're not. So they keep buying. Of course, not believing or not shopping shouldn't have any adverse effects on you, and should actually do you a lot good. But the believer or shopper does not think that. They will become depressed and ill. So they never ever stop shopping because it's idealized. It's now at this point, it's a trend now. It's just buying meaningless things that they will never use, that sits in their closet and goes dormant, right? Until they get another thing and another thing and another thing, until this unquenchable thirst is never ever sanctioned. It's never ever filled. This dragon locked in a dungeon that's just always hungry. That's what's inside of them, right? That's why we have to understand, like, anyone that works in retail understands women will come there and buy frantically anything. They will buy anything. Practically anything. That's why many businessmen, they know most of the time they can get a sale off a woman, whether this be a car dealership, Verizon dealership, whatever Verizon sales, whatever internet sales, any type of sales. They know the target is a woman, right? Because they are operating in their limbic system. It's easy to make a sale of someone who's interconnected with their emotions because they will make this emotional ideology. They're not using discernment to stop this. They will easily fall a slave to this. They will easily fall a slave to their desires. So it is easy to put women in a capitalist market and for the capitalist market to succeed. But us as men, we have a stronger ability to use our discernment to understand that this is not right. This market is not correct. Most of the world operates according to the placebo-nocebo effect. Reality is much less important than beliefs about reality. Voodoo can literally kill people, not because it is in any way lethal of itself, but because the victim thinks it is. They literally believe themselves to death by a way of nocebo effect. I will harm. What a strange world we live in. It's actively shaped by nonsensical beliefs, rather than rational facts and evidence. Guys, like we said, the power of the mind is extremely immense. People can die off voodoo dolls because they strongly believed with their hearts, this can do harm. The nocebo kicks in. Murphy's Law kicks in. But if they were to believe, I am one of the strongest people in this cosmos, nothing can ever touch me, and I am capable of everything and anything. Poof, like that, nothing will ever come to their aura sphere. But they are indoctrinated, infantilized at such a young age to believe they are weak, they are docile, they are submissive, and they are not capable of anything greater than themselves other than idol worship. Imagine if you prevented religions from issuing threats against people. They would lose their power over people almost immediately. Their power resides in the terror they deliberately induce in you for any act of disobedience on your part. Guys, this is not to go against any religion. This is to say that many of them do not give you the option. And this is known as control. Control is a bad thing because it doesn't give you the option to seek this out. The Kabbalah that we explained, guys, you can go seek the Kabbalah out yourself. No one puts the Kabbalah down anyone's throat. When you are spiritually ready to read the Kabbalah and understand it, it is out there. But many religions, such as the Abrahamic religions, have such an indoctrination to force themselves and force their ways onto you. In an enlightened society, all terror religions would be banned. That would mean the end of Abrahamism. It's shameful how terror religions have permitted to embedded themselves in society. People should not have to be threatened. Instead, they should be encouraged to seek their highest selves. Right, guys? We have to understand how there's so much control and indoctrination within many of these religions. Think about how Jewish women have to shave their head after marriage. Muslim women have to cover their entire bodies up because of this. This is all a means of control. This is all cult-like understanding. This is all cult-like worship. We need a society of the highest common factor, not the lowest common denominator. We live in a ridiculously infantilized culture. No one grows up. The mental age of the average person in the world has been estimated at 14. How undeniably unreasonable. How putrid. How disgusting. We are the most apex, the most IQ-ridden human beings on this cosmos. We are the most intelligent beings. We have surpassed so many things in this cosmos, and yet people are acting at a 14-year-old level. They are acting based on their limbic system. They only want to feel emotions, whether this is a negative emotion or a positive emotion. It doesn't matter as long as they induce an emotion like a child. And we're rapidly heading towards 8. Right, with this extreme gratification, instant gratification, we see people are slowly but surely losing their attention spans, whether this be off the video game market, TikTok, Vine. They are slowly but surely dropping this attention span little by little, right? We can't even understand how children nowadays do not want to be outside. They'd rather be on their iPad all day. Now, there's plenty of people on their iPad all day making extreme amounts of money and still learning. But that's not the case for the children we are raising today. Like Cartman in South Park, we are infantilizing, not we, the government, the entities around us. Society is grooming adults to be children, to act childlike. Because when you are in this childlike setting, not only are you easier to control, you are more easier to submit, you are also going to follow orders, you are also going to love capitalism. You're going to love self-indulgence. You're going to love buying things for no apparent reason other than your own self-desires, which never ends. It will be a constant loop for desire. Soon, we will be screaming babies, demanding that the whole world attends to our needs and wants. Why don't we try growing up? Why doesn't society have an average mental age of 35? Experienced, but still in touch with their youthful vigor and ambition. This is not the case. Many people think age is the source of wisdom. When people get older, they get more wise. In society today, that is not the case. Even the people that are 50, 60 are still acting in these childlike ways. They're still acting based on the limbic system. Imagine if people understood how to use this neocortex to their full potential. They understood the kingdom of heaven was within. They understood that they can meditate in it and make their auras feel more powerful. They do not have to listen to outside sources, no idol worship. They can be godlike, not God itself, but they can be godlike. We would have such an immense, strong, youthful, intelligent society among us with a mental capacity of 35. Everything would be running so efficiently, so smoothly, so beautifully, so harmonic, so artfully. But the average mental age for everyone in the society seems to be about 14, whether this be man or woman, just acting on just desire and emotion and ego alone. The leaders of the world want citizens as primary school infants rather than adults. Infants are much easier to control. They're easier targets for advertisers. They're easier for politicians to deceive. They're easier for bankers to fleece. They're easier for religious leaders to frighten and control. Infants are more gullible, credulous, and superstitious than adults. Do you understand what's going on amongst us? Do you understand the evil hands above trying to make sure that your children are easy to control? To understand that they don't want you passing a certain level in education. They don't want you understanding a certain level, passing a certain level in perception. They don't want you waking up your third eye. They want you to be weak. They want you to be submissive. They want you to be acting in a 14-year-old level. They want you to be having this bread and circus and just to stay quiet. They do not want you to be powerful and to understand how powerful the human vessel is. They want you to be superstitious and credulous and gullible. They want you to be childlike. The most obvious feature of our world is that the rational mind is largely held in contempt. Few people are rational. Politicians, religions, advertisers, business, law, and etc. They all target the lower, more animal strata of the human brain, also known as the reptile brain or the limbic system horse brain. They know if they target these parts of the brain, the neocortex is not going to overpower it. Your natural human desires for reproduction, your natural human desires for survival, overpower the neocortex. It overpowers your ability for discernment. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of fortitude, a lot of discipline, a lot of pain tolerance. It takes a lot of IQ. It takes a lot of ideologies, reading, training your cognition to make this neocortex as strong as possible, to understand how much of this supercomputer you can use to your advantage. So, intelligence, not because you think you know everything without questioning, but rather because you question everything you think you know, right? Don't just take someone's word for something. Don't just listen to the news as source for something. Don't just believe your teachers are just teaching you the most correct thing possible. Question everything. Question everything and receive the information yourself before you come to a conclusion. Before you come to any conclusion, think for yourself. Always. Our whole world is essentially irrational. Reason is, the poor Cinderella stuck in the basement out of the way. Enormously more value is assigned to feeling and desire because they are much better channels for conditioning us. Anything that gets the juices flowing, the blood heated, the heart pounding, the gut twisting, the hairs on the neck standing, tears rolling down the cheeks, has got it made. If the blood leads, if it bleeds, it leads. Make 'em laugh, make 'em cry. They use your emotions against you. They use your emotions to fuel instant gratifications. Instant gratification fuels the capitalist regime. You have to be understanding that they use your fears against you. They use your happiness against you. They use all your emotions against you. This is your aura in this electromagnetic body. If they can control this, they control your light being, your etheric body, your astral body. They are in control of this. The elites know Hindu mysticism. They know Kabbalah. They know the light body. They know Tibetan Buddhism. They know the light body. We are all bodies of light. We are beyond this physical plane. They could care less about what you're doing in this physical plane. They need control of your light body. Ein Sof. They need control of the limitless light. Dad, why do people give up freedom for security? It's called the Hegelian dialectic, sweetie. They create a problem, the problem creates a reaction. If there is enough fear and hysteria, people will not only accept the solution that limits their rights, but they will actually beg for it. It would be crazy for advertisers to tell the rational truth about their products. No one would buy them. It would be crazy for politicians to tell the rational truth about their policies. No one would vote for them. It would be crazy for religions of belief to tell everyone the rational truth. Everyone would stop believing. Guys, everything around you is a lie. They are lying to you openly for your service, for your submission, for you to be agreeable. They need your submission in order to continue, whether this is religion, whether this is politicians, whether this is products and advertisements. Your belief in this system is what they need. They need your belief. They need your energy. They are stealing your divine energy. Once we had characteristics, now we have symptoms. As medical practice becomes more commercialized, our emotions become medicalized. Subjects such as philosophy, science, mathematics, psychology attract little popular interest. They are ignored by most people and often despised, particularly mathematics. Small islands of reason float on immense oceans of desire and emotions. And then people are surprised that the world is such a crazy place. What do they expect? So, we understand that none of these professions within this, whether this be history, STEM, technology, math, you're not going to make a plethora of money doing this, right? But being a celebrity or being an actor or being a professional athlete will make immense amount of money. So they could use this against you, right? They don't want you to be educated. They want you to be a fan. They want you to idol worship. So, celebrity worship syndrome. The worship of athletes, musicians, and anyone with celebrity status is part of the reason why many people in society suffer so greatly. It is also one of the direct causes of people feeling not enough. People are looking for something to believe in, but they don't believe in themselves because they have been programmed not to believe in themselves and cultivate a meaningful life. A fan is short for fanatic. The definition of fanatic is person filled with excessive and single-minded zeal. Pythagoras, that a human comprises of 4 major parts. 1. Mineral, bones. 2. Vegetable, blood-like plant sap. 3. Animal, all moving parts of the brain with the exception of the highest intelligence, neocortex. And God, the highest intelligence, reason, discernment. The more rational you are, the more godly you are or become. The less rational you are, the more you start to resemble an animal and ultimately an object. Like we said at the beginning of the video, animals have such a very, very small lineage, small lining of this neocortex. And it's not necessary for their survival. They are animalistic. They just need to reproduce and survive. As a deer, it doesn't have the hippocampus that we do. It does not have the neocortex we do. None of these animals have this neocortex we do. But to remove this reason from society, to remove this reason from humans, is to make people less like God and more like animal. In society among us, we have childlike animals. That is who we are surrounded by. And without proper discernment, proper education, this will continue. But as we see, guys, we are in the midst of the fall of the Roman Empire. We shall see what shall transpire. This was the fragile brilliance of human reason, a reflection on its uniqueness and the neglect in a world of instant gratification. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Also like and subscribe. Feel free to check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. This has been your fallen angel, and I am out.